Let's learn more from Lori Williams, political analyst from Mount Royal University. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning, Lauren.
So the UCP convention is wrapping today. What stood out to you the most so far?
Well, I think for everybody, it was that resounding boo or set of boos when Danielle Smith announced what she thought was going to be a real winner with that audience. Part of it probably is well organized. Those who are the more separatist and organized and focused and angry members of the UCP were hoping to get independence on the agenda, and they weren't successful in doing that. And so it was a real surprise, I think, for everybody that was the reaction. I think it's important to remember that represents a minority of Albertans, and to contrast that with the standing ovation that Mark Carney got on Friday with an audience of over 2,000.
So you mentioned those boos that we heard a short while ago. What does she have to do to win over those who don't necessarily agree with her?
I think some of them aren't winnable. I mean, they cheered when she said she was going to refuse to enforce the federal gun buyback program, and she's promising to put in legislation to that effect, and I think she's hoping that will placate that group. But the real challenge for a conservative leader in Alberta is to try to manage both those who are sort of more moderate conservatives, and those who are libertarian, and those who are social conservatives, and those who want independence, all of whom are members of that party, all of whom have learned from effective organizers that if you do organize, you can have a lot more influence within the party. Those independence-minded folks are trying to win more seats on the United Conservative Party board over this weekend as well. We'll see what the results of that are.
So as we mentioned, the Premier did take time to defend the Ottawa energy deal. Talk to me about that. What do you make of it?
Well, her attempt on Friday night wasn't successful. She was resoundingly booed. But yesterday, her talk with the group got a more mixed reaction. There was some support, and she tried to emphasize that this is not the time to give up, that the tide has started to turn for Alberta, and again, that was meant to appeal to those more independence or separatist-minded Albertans. And it's important to remember that a lot of them, even former separatist leaders, see separatism as a second best and even as a tool, a bargaining chip for dealing with Ottawa. So it looked like she was getting a little bit more balanced response yesterday than she was on Friday. But that wing within the party is going to continue to be a challenge. She's constantly trying to prevent a split in the party, because they used to be Wild Rose Party members and Progressive Conservative members, and it's not always a happy alliance, as we're seeing.
Okay, Lori, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. That is Lori Williams, political analyst from Mount Royal University.